A very warm welcome to all my viewers to SimbaviTravels, and this is episode 2 of Spain, where I will be showing you Seville, Cordoba, and Toledo. So before I do that, I wanted to show you exactly where we started from, which is Malaga. We went over to Marbella and then drove to Gibraltar. That was the first leg of my Spanish road trip, and now leg 2 will be Seville, Cordoba, and Toledo. And from there, I'm going to continue my trip to Madrid, Valencia, and Barcelona. And that I will be showing you in other episodes of Spain. But just to give you a good idea of where I started from, what was point A of my road trip and what was point Z, I wanted to put down everything on the map. Just to give you a good idea of how long it took me to drive from place A to place B. And of course, my main stays were first night, of course, was Malaga. And my second major stay was Seville. My third stay was Madrid, fourth Valencia, fifth Barcelona. Okay, so let's get started with episode 2. And episode 2, of course, started in Seville. And in Seville, we basically stayed at this beautiful hotel that I'd looked up using booking.com. Yes, I use booking.com a lot for my travel. So the first night I booked myself into the very famous Hotel H10 Casa de la Plata. And just look at this gorgeous room that we were given. It was all bright yellow and off-white, and very, very welcoming, right in the city center, with a beautiful love seat and lamp and a little corner when we could look out to the streets of Seville. And it was just the gorgeous first night. So to take in the vibe of any city, the best is to walk by the streets at night. And the two things that really popped out to me were the lamps. Yes, all the diners, the open terraces had tons of lamps. They were just beautiful. So many bars. The streets were lined with bars. And I chose to have some Spanish tapas, which was gamba. So some spicy shrimps and prawn. And it was yum. That's how the night finished. And came morning. And the morning, we had this yummy breakfast spread that was offered by the Hotel de Casa. And what we're looking at right now is where we were having breakfast. There was this beautiful water fountain. And look at all those doors. Just look at those colors. And this was their main lobby. It was beautiful. I think lamps is a thing of Seville. Our first sightseeing stop was the Metropole Parasol, which is also known as the Citas de Seville. So what it represents is mushrooms. Yes, it's basically considered the mushrooms of Seville, right? It's a wooden structure located at the La Encarnacion Square in the old quarter of Seville, Spain. So this entire structure basically consists of 6 parasols in the form of giant mushrooms. The design, of course, was inspired by the Cathedral of Seville and the ficus trees. So the underground level is an antiquarium where Roman and Moorish remains discovered on site are displayed in a museum. And level 1, which is the street level, is your central market. And level 2 and 3 are the 2 stages of the panoramic terraces, including the restaurant, offering a view of the city center. And this is where Avi and me actually stood and also saw in the distance the very famous Seville Cathedral and the La Giralda. So the cathedral, which is the Santa Maria, is one of the largest cathedrals in the world, and the cathedral was built over the remnants of Moorish mosque. Next, we went to the Maria Luisa Park. This is the green oasis of peace, and it's the most famous public park in Seville. And the most famous square, which is called the Plaza de España, is actually located in the Maria Luisa Park. So the Plaza de España was created for the Ibero-American exhibition of 1929 to symbolize peace with the former colonies. And a highlight of this Spanish square are the 52 benches with Andalusian tiles that represent all the Spanish provinces. And of course, here is where we stopped to see the very, very famous flamenco dance. And of course, for all the people who know me, they know how dance can influence me so much. So I went around the palace, clicked lots of photos with my brilliant dancing poses, and I thought I was a flamingo dancer on my own. Absolutely loved it. Road trip was Cordoba. And in Cordoba, we saw the very, very famous Roman bridge and the CALAHORRA tower. So the Roman bridge that you see right in front of me is one of the oldest bridges in Cordoba. It was built in the 1st century BC. And it was the only bridge in the city for nearly 20 centuries, and also the main access to the city of Cordoba. Well, they say that if you come to the bridge on sunset, you can get beautiful shots of the old city of Cordoba. Our next stop and our last stop for the day was Toledo. Toledo is yet another town between Seville and Madrid, and that's the route that we were covering in this leg. So what all did we see in Toledo? And of course, my husband's been driving all this way and allowing me to take the videos and actually describe and tell you guys about all the places that we've been to. So thank you, Avi. Okay, so what did we see in Toledo? So one of the most exciting things that pops out in Toledo and that one should always see is the Alcazar of Toledo. So the Alcazar of Toledo basically is the palace of Toledo, and it's at the highest point in Toledo. It's on a hill which is about 550 meters tall, and it's right next to the river Tagus, if I'm pronouncing it correct. Now, the two ways to get to this palace are either you enter through the Puerta de Bisagara, which is the name of one of the gates, and it was the oldest gate, and it was built in the 900s. Wow, by the Moors, and it's one of the main entrances to the city from the plain. Or the other way of getting there is through this bridge across the river Tagus, and this bridge is called the Puente de Alcantara, and it's been standing there since the Roman era. Wow. So when you enter through this bridge, you almost feel like a knight in shining armor, except that we were not on horses and we were in a car. And this bridge was built in the 1200s. Wow. And the one place that you must visit before leaving Toledo is Cordoba, which is the nerve center of the city for many centuries. So lots of cafes, hustle, bustle, and in the old time, it was actually a big horse market. Yes, where you could buy and sell ponies and stallions and horses, and wow.